Well, we're here, y'all. We're here, Broncos country, breaking down what sadly is, what was the final game for our Denver Broncos season, man. It ends in agony, 10-7. We're gonna give kind of our final thoughts on this game. I guess kind of put a little bit of a bow on a season. I imagine we'll kind of have a more kind of centric season recap. At least I'm hoping, guys. I mean, we made it through this whole season every freaking week. And yeah, we got to figure out something for the off season. So everybody who's joining, be sure to like, subscribe, then get in the chat. You guys are what makes this show a lot of fun. And shout out to Kalshi as well for sponsoring the channel. Hit the link. Code DTB, $10 bonus when you deposit 10, and we can all hopefully win the money back, take in the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl that we all lost on the Broncos, upsetting the Patriots. Just a tough one, guys. I guess before we get into detail, just want to get kind of your initial first thoughts on this game that happened yesterday. We'll start with Kodiak since you were actually at the game and I missed your late night post game last night. So, and we'll work our way around. So y'all cook, y'all say whatever you need to say, man.
Yeah, of course. So I guess the main thing that I just have to say about the season ending is I think your magic it just ran out. Like that's really all I can, kind of chalk it up to. It was going to be a tall task with a backup quarterback anyway. But then, no Dobbins, no Franklin, no Bryant. And honestly, it just feels like the stars just weren't aligning for a truly, truly magical end to your season, even though this was one of the most magical seasons ever. I can't remember the last time Broncos football has ever been this fun for us. The discourse week in and week out, how we got some of our wins, the amazing wins that we did get that we're never going to forget. The playoff game against Buffalo, like those were all some amazing moments. But you know what? All good things must come to an end, or everything happens for a reason. And that's the moniker of that. And overall, yeah, great season. And I have nothing else to say other than, yeah, great season, and the magic just ran out. That's kind of what I could just chalk it up to.
Mark?
Yeah, there's not really any words, man, to really describe just the sheer frustration, I guess, that I felt from that game. I felt like, when me and Jeremy did the post game yesterday, I think some of it was like, it almost is like that's really when the Bo Nix injury kind of sunk in. I don't really feel like we had a lot of time and opportunity to just like kind of, soak in our sorrows about losing Bo Nix and after the Bills game. It was almost like it kind of came as a shock and you don't believe in it. And it's like, all right, Stiddy City, everybody's putting their profile pics, and then you just kind of like, we'll see what happens. And then it all just came like crashing down all at once where you have this game and we should have, we by all means, we should have won. Like it would have been so much easier if we just got blown out. And I think that's what hurts the most is because 100% that we would have demolished the Patriots with Bo Nix. And I knew we would have. And I even felt like we were going to beat him with Jarrett Stidham. And then I kind of summed it up with a tweet that I had before. I said, Sean Payton is the biggest reason that we played in the AFC Championship game. And I think he's also the biggest reason that we lost the AFC Championship game. And that's really what's frustrating. And we've kind of been like live or die by Sean Payton. But,
yeah,
who knows? It's going to open up a lot of really good discussion moving forward in the offseason of like, was Bo Nix covering up a lot of what Sean Payton does? How do they get better from here moving forward? But just an unfortunate way for the season, a special season to come to the end. And of all the teams, the Patriots, the luckiest organization over the past decade, along with the Chiefs, obviously. They're back
over
at it
the last 20 years, right? 25 years.
Yeah, and they just had a cake walk right into the Super Bowl, which I can assure you they will get absolutely blown away in, but still very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said, Mark. Jeremy, what's your takeaway from yesterday's game?
There's a lot of takeaways. I had a personal day yesterday where a lot of bad stuff happened for my family, and it all culminated at the exact same time the game was going to crap. So it was just, I don't know. It's kind of hard to like separate the two in my mind, just because it's like you're living one and also another, and it would feel basically the day finished the way it was going all day. So it was just like, okay, if we're going to do this, let's just drive it straight off the cliff, Thelma and Louise style at the end. I guess my biggest takeaway after talking, like Mark said, is I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Jerry Maguire, and he's a sports agent, and he has one huge client left. He ends up getting fired, and he basically saved two clients. One was like the upcoming number 1 draft pick, and the other one is kind of like this journeyman or like veteran guy that's never got his shine. And he ends up losing the number 1 draft pick guy the night before the draft. And he walks up to his last client that's left, that's stuck with them. And the guy says, "You're loving me now, aren't you?" And he goes, "Very much." And that's how I feel like Bo Nix is feeling, is like, we all shifted to Stiddy and all that stuff. And it ended up rhyming with Stiddy. But like, we got to see what a dynamic quarterback looks like with this team. And we got to see what a good to okay backup looks like. And it was just night and day. So I think that was the biggest thing, is like, I guess the thing that gave me, I mean, of course, we all wanted to go to the Super Bowl. We were that close, but the season didn't end. I mean, it officially ended yesterday, but it really ended on the moment he broke his ankle, because we weren't going and beating Seattle like with Jarrett Stidham, unless you pulled out every trickery known to man and something happened. I mean, it's possible, but like, let's be honest, the season was over then. So it's a phenomenal season. It's a very sweet season, but a super bitter ending. And that's just, it's tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for months. And it feels like this is the type of loss that's going to stick with these guys, maybe forever. And that can be a really good thing. We've had situations like in the 90s that happened, in the Peyton Manning years that happened, and now it's Bo Nix's career and Sean Payton's just getting started, and it's happened again. So like, maybe it's happening for a reason, and you cannot squander these chances. And that's the biggest thing.
Well said. Well said, Jeremy. I want to get to a few comments before I give my kind of takeaway from the game, but yeah, T Fish is in here. What's up, man? Saying we're sitting on 35 million in cap plus or minus 12 for the draft class, 12 more for season reserve. We'd only have $11 million to spend. Who's going to do the spot track videos? I think we're going to be putting out a ton of that stuff across the channels. It's going to be a lot of fun. T also said we lost because the moment was too big for Sean. It's okay. He gets a pass. In all honesty, we get creamed by Seattle anyways. Win season. I'm happy with where we're at. And then Eli, also Vic's in here. What's up, Vic? Eli saying it felt like a somber Monday all around town. And yeah, I would say, man, it's just a bummer day. You know, I was so sad last night, and I was telling my wife, you know, I'm just so sad. You know, the type of contents I make now, it's got to be changing. She's like, "What do you mean by that?" And I was like, "Well, it's real easy in the season because it's so much fun. We just talk about how the Broncos are going to win the next game, you know, and now we got to wait, 6-7 months, you know, for that, you know, but, you know, we'll have fun with the off season. I think we'll get into some of these big moments because I think that we got some different opinions on them throughout the game. But I think, man, my biggest takeaway is that, yeah, you just needed Bo Nix, right? This year, it's always going to be looked at as the year that we should have gone to, at minimum, the Super Bowl and possibly won the Super Bowl. To me, you know, I can't really speak about how 96 was, Jeremy, because I was only like 4 years old. But it kind of feels like 2012 in that way. Like that Ravens game with how that ended. That's almost the same feeling I had doing the post game for the Bills win when all the news came out about Bo Nix's ankle being broken, you know? So I was real proud of the team with the effort that they gave. But this might be crazy. I think if the weather stays fairly neutral, I still think we win that game yesterday. I still think we win it. I don't know. It's kind of a hot take, but I think it was just very clear from halfway through the third quarter that whichever team had the lead was probably going to keep it. So, shall we get into some of these moments with the game? I'm very curious on your thoughts on this. Shall we start with the 4th and 1 call? How you guys were feeling about that? Maybe we can start with Mark and work our way around. Mark, I really want to hear your take on this.
The 4th down and 1 call, the decision to go for it on 4th down and 1, I will 100% back up. I was saying the whole time we should do it. Let's put the nail in the coffin. Let's get a 14-point lead. I get that. Hindsight 2020, I would still go for it. But we go up to the line of scrimmage. Looks like we had a run call. This is me kind of in real time going it through my head. I'm like, okay, we have a run call. And then they take a timeout, which I think is a little bit annoying. But I'm like, all right, they're going to come out. Maybe they're going to have a better call. They're still going to run the ball, right? Obviously. And they elected to not run the ball. In fact, they elected to run a play that it looked like nobody on the entire offense knew how to run it. The offensive line completely fell apart. Jarrett Stidham was confused. And it was just a terrible decision to put the ball in the hands of a backup quarterback. There's no reason. It's a 4th and less than 1 yard. Dude, just line up Prentice and Harvey in the back, quarterback sneak it, have them push you through, get the first down, live another day. I'll never understand why Sean Payton thinks that, like, he needs to have this ego of, like, I'm the smartest guy in the room and I trust my quarterback. And you knew what was going on in his head the whole time. He was saying, he told the media on Friday, he said, I told the team, I'm not worried about Stiddy. I'm worried about the rest of you guys doing your job. Well, that's a play call that proved exactly that. He wants everyone else to do his job and not Stiddy, and nobody did their job, including the quarterback who missed little Jordan Humphrey that was open anyways. And then to add fuel to the fire, I see the Seth Wickersham article. I don't know if you guys saw that. I guess he's been having like behind the scenes access to Sean Payton this entire playoff run because they're like buddies. They're really, really close. And he had said that Sean Payton had a duo run called that was their most successful and their best short yardage play call all year. And then he didn't originally they didn't originally like the look that they had gotten. And so they called the timeout and they switched the play, and they still didn't really like the look that they got for this play, but they decided that they had seen it before and that this past play should work, but it ended up not being the same look that they've seen on tape. It made me feel so much worse about that play call. And that's what really bothers me. And it's like, for me, it's like, these are the best options, in my opinion. You're going to run the ball on 4th and 1 with a very simple run. Either you give it to the fullback or you do a quarterback sneak. That's the number 1 choice. Number 2 choice is to kick the field goal. And number 3 choice is to, I don't even know. Like, I can't even say there's it's the worst choice. Let's just put it that way. Like, I guess the third thing that you would do in that particular situation is just run out of the gun at least. Like, spread everybody out and run something that's a very simplified play, not a play action and then you're moving one guy this way and there's a whole bunch of motion and all that. Like, at least if you're going to run a pass play, spread them out and make it more simple. It was just very, very frustrating. And I think that single-handedly, that play cost us the game. There's no doubt about it in my mind. You could obviously look at a lot of different things, but man, you convert that and, you take more time off the clock. Even if you end up kicking a field goal at that point, it's 10-0, but you have a really good chance of going up 14-0. And I think the game's over at that point with how the defense was playing. So I know it was a really long rant. And that's what happens sometimes when I have a lot on my chest. My mind just goes in a million different directions. So hopefully you guys followed me on that, but it was a terrible call. Terrible decision. It wasn't a bad call to go for it, but it was an absolutely shitty play call in every sense of the word.
Kodiak. Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
I think Jeremy should go first because I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to disagree. I think if you have a chance to go up by 2 scores with a backup quarterback, you go up 2 scores no matter what. I think he had the weather, like, I'm sure he had the weather report in his back pocket of what was coming. And here's the biggest thing for me is, like, at that point in the game, things were going really well for us. And Jarrett had that really big play to Marvin Mims, even though he didn't really look good. He had that big play. And it was like, okay, maybe he's shaking off the cobwebs here. What, who knows? But, like, if you're faced with an opportunity to continue the momentum and put up points and go up 2 scores, or if you don't get it, it completely derails the momentum and gives the other team the momentum, stay away from that. Just take the points. And that's what I didn't like about that. Now, that being said, I hated the play call. I was yelling at the TV, kick it, kick it, kick it. But I will defend Sean's ego a little bit because we are not here as a football team without Sean's ego. Sean coming out and saying before the season started, this is a Super Bowl caliber team, got all those guys to buy in. Also, you can also make the argument that if Sean Payton and the Jarrett Stidham led Broncos are going to win a Super Bowl, Jarrett's going to have to win this game as well. And he's going to have to play and inspire confidence in all of his teammates. So Sean saying, Jarrett, I had your back from the second that Bo went down. I have your back now. Let's go do it. Let's put it on him. I totally understand that. But I watched football for way too long, and it's just like, don't give the other team a chance to get momentum back. Just don't do it. But we're going to have to live and die with that as fans of the Broncos. Sean Payton is going to exceed expectations in certain ways and then also frustrate the crap out of you by him thinking he's super smart. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It didn't work yesterday. It was the worst spot of times to not work. But, like, I personally hated the call. You should have just won. You should have just got the points. But, hindsight's 20/20. If he gets it, it's all, we're all like, he's a genius. He went up 14 with the backup quarterback and he beat the Patriots. So, like, that's how close it is. Mm-hmm. I personally, in the moment, though, honestly did not like it. But
yep.
Oh well.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kodiak. Cook.
All right. Listen, man. I agree with what Mark is saying. Like, I think the bootleg play call, I thought that was terrible considering we've done that a couple times in the past few months. Okay, we did that against KC on the goal line. We did that against Buffalo on a 3rd and 1 as well. So it's not like it wasn't a part of our short yardage package game plan. But yeah, I think Sean Payton's ego lost us this game. And I'm about to tell you why. It has nothing to do with the actual game that unfolded yesterday, or I guess it kind of does, but I blame Sean Payton just not in the way most do. Okay. This offseason, I was saying that they did not take the situation around Bo Nix seriously enough. Okay. They got arrogant running it back with their guys. And right now, it seems like there's a clear disconnect between how this roster was built and how this team actually plays. Okay. You just lost a Blizzard game because honestly, you just weren't built for it. I think I was at the game, but everybody said that Nance and Romo said, oh, maybe this team's just not built for this situation like 1,000 times. The Patriots were better equipped with Ramondre and Drake May's legs, and that was the difference. And could it have gone differently if you had Bo out there? Sure. But listen, man, what is the actual point of stacking your team with guys like Troutman, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Prentice, and Adkins if once Dobbins goes down, you still can't run the ball? And when you do, you're lucky you get 3 yards, okay? These are supposed to be Sean Payton's dirty work players, and yet when the game turns physical and you rely on them to do the dirty work, the offense completely dies. So what's the point, dude? And I'm sorry, but I am all the way out on Adam Troutman. I do not want to see him on this roster next year. If Troutman is one of your core pieces in 2026, you've already failed. Defenses don't care when he's on the field, okay? He doesn't change coverage. He doesn't stress anybody. And, I was excited when we signed Ingram. Granted, not because he would, and he hasn't really provided what I thought he would, but I was like, yeah, it'll be cool to have a respectable weapon. But Troutman, Kroll, Prentice, like too many of these guys out wide. And the most ridiculous thing is these guys are regularly out-snapping your best offensive playmaker in Marvin Mims. Like, there's no more excuses for the underutilization of Mims anymore. There just aren't. And, one of Sean's biggest flaws is that he just loves his guys too much, okay? familiarity over effectiveness. You see this on defense too with Singleton. But, when Lil Jordan Humphrey gets cut from a 4-13 Giants team and ends up playing 74% of the snaps in the conference championship, that's a front office failure. That's on you. That's on Payton for designing the offense. It's on George Payton for, investment in the draft or whatever, foregoing, building out the actual wide receiver room. These dudes are supposed to be depth. Instead, they're the ecosystem, okay? I don't blame Stidham. I blame what was built around him. Okay, Tyler Bidet getting caught in the mess at the line of scrimmage on the Stidham fumble. Maybe let's help our backup out and let's make a tough play to slip out. Cortland Sutton, maybe let's make a tough catch. Maybe let's help out our backup quarterback. And here's the real question. Real question for all of you in the chat right now. What does this offense look like early in the season if J.K. Dobbins signed somewhere else in May? He was the offense for the first part of the year. Like, that alone should scare this front office. Next year has to be different. Get tight ends defenses actually respect. Get real depth running backs. Draft them, sign them. Go nuclear at UDFA. You cannot do what you did this past year. I don't care. You cannot have Adam Trautman back on this team next year. He's not a solution. No Prentice, no Kroll, no Lil Jordan Humphrey. I'm fucking sick of it.
Man,
I love it. Preach, man.
I love how fired up you guys are about this, man. Cody,
no Adam Trautman.
Yeah, no Adam Trautman. I'm right there, man. Alex Singleton, it's been interesting, but you got to go too. Okay, so back to the 4th and 1 call. In my live stream during the game, I was like, dude, you kick this field goal, dude. Go up 10-0. Jeremy, I'm right there with you. Now, kind of in the hindsight, having a day to sleep on it, I'm not too upset with the decision to actually go for it, because 14 points probably just straight up wins you that game. Like, no doubt about it. If you get 14 points, that game is over, probably, because the Patriots are having to come back down 2 scores. Again, you don't know what happens, but the weather's bad, all of that. Who knows what happens? But I don't know. This isn't really a loss that I'm going to directly just put 100% of the blame on Sean Payton for, dude. Like, I think without Sean Payton, this team gets blown the hell out yesterday. Like, I think it's crazy for people to say that he's not the answer because we lost the AFC Championship with our backup quarterback. I am going to put some blame on Jarrett Stidham. You're the highest paid backup in the NFL. All right? We need you to come in here and manage the game, not extend plays outside of the pocket. His fumble, that was by far, in my opinion, the play that if you just want to put one play that lost us the game, it's that play right there. That was inexcusable. Either you throw it away when he was kind of hitching it, or you take the sack. But with him trying to, yeah, and yeah, I think like I don't know, one of the film guys, it might have been Chase Daniel, broke it down how it seemed like there was miscommunication on Jarrett Stidham calling killing the play, and then the guys didn't know what to do. So there was some misunderstanding with Bidet. I don't know if you saw that. Like, Bidet seemed to just not know where he was going. He's another guy that absolutely needs to go. But the one thing that you needed from Jarrett Stidham was a turnover-free game to win this game. And I'm interested what y'all think about that call. Apparently, y'all are saying here in the comments earlier that Aqib Talib feels like that was not the right call with it being ruled a fumble. I think it was. I think that was absolutely a backwards pass. I think that was absolutely the right call. It traveled 2 yards back. But this is why you need Bo Nix, because in this game, especially with the weather, you need Jarrett Stidham to play close to perfect for a backup. You need your defense to play flawlessly. You need your offensive weapons to come up huge. And you need Sean Payton to be close to perfect in all of these like close situation, game deciding, game management things. Bo Nix helps cover up for some of that to where you don't need everything else to be close to perfect. So again, it was just one of those things where you needed a close to perfect effort from everybody. And I would say we were about at like 90% there. There are probably 3 plays that decided this game. 3 moments that decided this game. And you saw, even with the field goal kick, how they couldn't even spot the lines correctly. So they lined up for that last field goal kick in the 4th quarter, a yard short. The long snapper, or not the long snapper, the holder, is that Crawshaw?
Yeah.
He was 7 yards behind instead of 8. And then that kick gets tipped by just the tip of the finger. I think that was going in.
Yeah.
You know, like Sean said, he was worried about the other 53 guys or the other 52 guys. Yeah, the offensive line was horrible yesterday, man.
Terrible.
Like,
terrible.
And especially like in that 4th and 1 call. Like, Mark, I know that like, yeah, that was a terrible call. Did the guys even know who they were supposed to block? Because Stidham had 2 guys in the backfield, right then, right after the fake.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. Why are you complicating it?
Yeah.
Why are you making it so difficult? Like, dude, just run the ball. Like, in fact, they didn't even have one negative play that entire drive. It was a good drive. It took over 6 minutes off the clock.
Yep.
Like, things were starting to move. They stuck with the run. They had a couple that had a 9-yard run. They had a couple that were going, and things were moving. And then you want to get cute. Like, it's, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. In terms of like the Stiddy fumble, yeah, it was a completely broken play, which is like still wild to think. Like, I don't know. But that one's on Stidham for sure, because, dude, you've got to, even if you're going to throw the ball backwards, throw it backwards out of bounds, man. What are you throwing it to? Like, he was throwing it to nobody. So throw it away, get the intentional grounding. I don't really care. Throw it at the feet. If you're going to throw it backwards, let it trickle out of bounds at least.
Yeah. His confidence was shot after that, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he never recovered from that moment.
He knew he blew it.
Yeah, it was absolutely a backward pass. When I saw it live, I did not think it was backwards.
Yeah.
And then and it was annoying because like the momentum's carrying him. So he's releasing it and it's like, it's going forward, but then the momentum just like takes it backwards. But
here's the thing, like this guy didn't even throw the ball, man. He was like shot putting it, and there was a hand right there. To me, that totally looked like a backward pass, dude. There was no throwing motion.
Yeah, and Ellis was like bearing down on him too, which like kind of helped the ball go backward or whatever. So,
but it is so frustrating that we did not have a run game, dude.
If it was tipped, would it still be considered a backward pass though?
No.
Well, if it never went forward.
But I think my whole thing was it was thrown, like it was released, and it was technically going forward because Stidham was drifting. But then when it ultimately ends up landing, it was like going backwards. But if that makes sense, like the trajectory started forward. So if it got tipped at that point, I don't think they would have called it a backward pass. I don't actually think it got tipped.
It looked like they maybe got a hand in there. But here's the bigger thing. And this is the thing that I've learned from the last week of those Mafia, watching their freaking debacle of a franchise. I don't care if it went backwards, fumble, whatever. Like, it was a freaking stupid play that he just should have thrown out of bounds or taken a sack, period. So it doesn't matter to me. Like, if we want to get technical and go, oh, actually, if you look by the measurement, it's like, no, none of that. That was a stupid freaking play. You should have seen a guy coming right at your face. Like, throw the football away. And it's like, I blame Sean for being like, Stiddy's going to sling it. Dude, just have him just not make mistakes. That's what we need you to do. Yeah. That's where we're at right now. Like, what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Tyler Bidet and Jarrett Stidham in an AFC Championship game. Like, this is like insanity. Don't freaking fumble it when you can just throw it away and you have a lead. Take 10 when you can get it. Like, yeah, of course Bidet's not going to know what he's doing. Like, he's like the 4th string running back. Jarrett Stidham hasn't played a game in 3 years. Like, what are we saying? Like, that's where it was like, I know they want to inspire confidence, but like, read the room, dude. Like, we are completely decimated. Our number 1 running back's out. Our number 2 or number 3 like wide receivers out. Our freaking captain and starting quarterback is out. Like, and you're up because the defense. Like, That's the reason why we won 2015 Super Bowl is because Peyton Manning didn't make a stupid mistake. He understood, I am not the strength of this team anymore. The defense is. So I'm not going to put them in a bad position. If we got to punt it 8 times, we're going to punt it 8 times. But they're going to have to go the whole distance of the field with our defense. That's what they should have been preaching them. Instead of being like, ooh, let's get slick and let's get smart and all that. It's the AFC Championship. You want to go somewhere and you're decimated at this point. Just you have to be smart. You have to. And then you have to kicks. And we didn't do either one of those. And can I really blame Jarrett Stidham that much? The dude hasn't played in 2 years and he's trying to make a play. But he should have been coached all week long. We don't need you to do that. Just don't run us off the road. Mm-hmm. And that was the difference. And now we got to deal with it. And it sucks as a fan because this has been an unbelievable season where it's been clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch. And then for it to just cave in on you like that is just, it's hard to deal with. But it's at the same time, it's like they got ahead of themselves on this one. They should have just been smart and should have just played. That being said, I don't have confidence we would have won the Super Bowl. And then if you lose a Super Bowl, I don't care what team it is. Look at the history of teams that lose a Super Bowl. There's always this Super Bowl hangover that lasts all year long, and it takes you 2 years to get back. I think right now, the way it ended, I think we're looking at Bo Nix and like the salary cap opening up and all this stuff. We should be super optimistic, right? Like we did this with like backups and like second-year guys and rookies. So like, give us another year. That being said, it sucks to lose that opportunity when you're that close and you're that good. But I truly in my heart feel like our season was over when he broke his ankle. Because to ask Jarrett Stidham to come in and light it up, it's just like I don't know why we just started drinking the Kool-Aid so much. We got so used to just things just kept going right and kept going right. Double down, let's go again. And it was like we all should have realized, guys, the only chance we have is to be really smart here, and we didn't do it.
No.
Yeah, no. And I think to beat New England, we had to have been at worst case scenario, neutral in the turnover battle, and we were -2. And that's just really all it boils down to. The fumble was the only thing that gave him points, and then the interception.
If Huff catches that interception, Kodiak.
He doesn't catch interception.
Well, first of all, if he could catch, he'd be playing offense. Second of all, it would have been a heck of a pick anyway. But those are the kinds of plays that would have taken for us to get to the Super Bowl.
I feel like there's got to be a running joke, or like if Hufanga is covering Cortland Sutton in practice, nobody's catching the ball.
Oh my
Guaranteed.
God, dude. Oh my
God.
It's gonna be incomplete.
Oh God. Do you think if Adam Troutman, Hufanga, and Cortland Sutton all spent an hour with the jugs machine, who would have the best chance at catching a football?
Yeah, it honestly might be Troutman, sadly enough.
I mean, yeah,
dude, we win yesterday. This is what we're not even talking about. And then I'll let y'all cook because my contact fell out. We win this game if A.T. Perry's activated.
Yes, dude.
We win this game if A.T. Perry's activated and Adam Troutman's inactivated. I'm convinced.
I'm convinced that A.T. Perry doesn't actually exist on this team.
I agree.
Elijah Moore.
I'm convinced he doesn't. But guys, I don't know why I just thought about this, and David, I don't know if David could hear us, so if he can't, we can fill him in. But I just literally thought of this. This could have been really one of the greatest opportunities for the Broncos to like win. And well, like I guess like even if we didn't end up winning, at least you get a positive out of it, right? So, everyone's worried about us losing Davis Webb to a head coaching job. I think what we should have done is just signed him to be the quarterback and play this game for us instead.
Couldn't have been.
And then we could have maybe hit him from doing any of the the head coaching interviews. And shit, I think Davis Webb probably would have given us a better chance at this point than Stidham. He knows the offense more than anybody. So maybe that's something that we could have thought about. But I mean, who knows? Kodiak, what do you think?
We could have thought about it, but like, man, Stidham deserves his chance to play in this game. He's not like some random bum. He's not some random scrub. I know that he made a terrible play yesterday, but before that, I thought he had control of the offense. I thought, first drive, not very good. Second drive, he was absolutely cooking, hitting Marvin Mims on that play over Christian Gonzalez. Man, that really, really lit a fire under our team. And ultimately, he was cooking in the red zone. So, Yeah, but ultimately, you live by your backup, you die by your backup. And once again, I don't blame Stidham for the way things went yesterday. I blame Sean Payton. I blame the other 53 guys, or the other 52 guys. I blame mainly Adam Troutman, Prentice, Lil Jordan Humphrey. But once again, I blame those
Why
guys
Prentice?
Yeah, what
because
Prentice do?
like he's
I
just one
thought
of those things that's symbolic of, okay, so we can't run the ball, but why? So why is this guy like getting on the field?
Yeah, why isn't
Yeah.
he running the ball more? To be honest with you, is my
Yeah, every
my
time he
question
ran
with
the ball,
Prentice.
we got
Every
a
time
first
he
down.
runs the ball, good things happen. Or when he touches the ball, good things happen with Prentice. But
Exactly. But I don't know. Maybe I am unfairly putting Prentice in that group of like Adkins and Troutman and all those guys who I just absolutely can't stand. And I do not want to see on this team next year. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I will say the other thing that pissed me off about this game, a lot to talk about with Sean Payton, right? Some of those play calls, decision making. Dude, Vance Joseph. I mean, essentially, dude, gave up 10 points, but 7 of that was like a 7-yard drive or whatever it was. Like, whatever. He was great. But in those moments in the second half, man, when you just needed a stop, dude, rushing 3, rushing 4, not having a spy on May when you're playing man, dude, Drake May, he didn't have it with his arm because he's not nearly as good as Bo Nix. Sorry, Patriots fans. It's true. He might have the stats in the regular season in the weak AFC East. Okay. But he wasn't this playoff riser. But he made the plays with his legs. And it's like we just didn't even care to account for that in the second half, man. And also Alex Singleton out there all the time, dude. So
yeah.
Hold on,
I don't know, man. I felt like VJ had a perfect plan. Go ahead. Sorry, Jeremy.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just gonna say, let me just get this out of the way. Congratulations to the Patriots for making to the AFC Championship against our backup in a snowstorm and like having our number 1 running back and 2 wide receivers down and having the easiest schedule in the year and also playing against a completely decimated Chargers team. And I don't know what happened to CJ Stroud, the ghost of CJ Stroud. You play who you play. You shouldn't, don't apologize for it. Good on you. And if you guys win the Super Bowl, I will 100% be like, good on you. But like, also, you are a little delusional as well. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we saying here? Like, you guys should have lost a game against Jarrett Stidham, who hasn't played in 3 years. Like, that's how close this was. So, like, again, you won. Good for you. But it's just
their
one of those
agony
things.
is in 2 weeks. It's
Probably
just on the national
probably.
stage,
I mean, who knows? Maybe 2 weeks things change,
stage.
but like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be a bitter sore loser. Absolutely, man. This Patriots team's gonna get blown out by the juggernaut. That's the Seattle Seahawks, man. I'm glad it's not gonna be us. Oh man.
But by the way, did you guys see DJ Jones? I was just watching some of the plays. Because I was going to say about the spy and how Jonah Ellis he almost had him, but did you guys see DJ Jones on the kneel down? How
diving through?
He was this close to actually timing it perfectly.
Where he caught
it would have potentially been like the greatest play in Bronco history if he was like, I'm not even joking you, like a half a millisecond late. He wouldn't have been offsides, and he actually would have taken the snap away and recovered it. That would have been pretty damn crazy. But
they would have freaking called some bull crap, I'm sure.
There are some reports that Drake May, the YouTube doctors are coming out saying they believe that he hurt his shoulder in this game on the 5th sack. Really? His throwing shoulder. And I did see somebody mention in the comments earlier.
The oblique injury versus shoulder injury.
Was that?
Which quarterback? The oblique with Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah.
The shoulder with Drake May. But man, we know Sam Darnold is elite this year. So yeah. I mean, dude, do they have an answer for JSN? Is Christian Gonzalez going to stick with that guy? I don't think so, man.
Yeah. Just to finish like your thought real quick on Vance Joseph, I didn't like the fact that it was like it did look like they had no other options other than to have Drake May run the ball on 3rd downs, and he kept doing it, and they weren't aware. that's the thing that drives me the most crazy about Vance Joseph is like, I mean, there's very little to complain about this year, but like at the same time, when things go bad, he doesn't seem to do like a get around, let's make an adjustment type of thing. He's just like, we're going to keep doing it. And you're like, bro, that's all they got. Freaking figure it out. Like, bring your team over, tell them we need to be very aware on third down. That drives me up the wall when like I see something, a pattern happening, and just if you try to stop it and you can't, that's one thing, but don't even trying to stop it. The obvious call, it just bugs the crap out of me. And that's the one thing about that game that I was yelling at the TV, like, when are you going to learn, dude? Drake May doesn't have confidence throwing it right now. He's going to run it. That's what he's going to do. And then for the last play of the game, Jonah Ellis biting on a run, which it's like, bro, you don't, all you have to worry about is Drake May. Then he didn't dive and make a tackle either. And I'm just like, that's when at that point, my day had gone so bad that I was just like, well, I don't know. This is destiny for whatever reason. I don't know why, but like, we're not destined to win this game anymore. And that's it. But it drove me up the wall, like them not figuring that out.
Yeah, no. Vance Joseph really, really showed out yesterday. And I was really proud of him, especially because, I see all these Patriots fans being like, we beat 3 top 5 defenses on route to this run. I'm like, dude, the Broncos defense since the bye, I'm telling you, like, it hasn't been good. So I'm like, I don't know where you guys are getting this. Like, obviously we showed out yesterday, but May looked absolutely shook. I think McDonald's going to have him in a blender in 2 weeks. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Vance Joseph really came, ready for a fight, and kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. I think he definitely got the better of Josh McDaniels. I think, he definitely got the better of Drake May throughout this one. And yeah, man, it just sucks because, if you have your like full strength, if you're at full strength, I know everybody's dealing with injuries. And listen, I don't want to sound like a Chargers fan, but there's a chance this goes differently. And ultimately, I think, it does suck because honestly, I think this is the worst loss I've ever had to deal with in any of my team's histories. Here's why. So when I was, 11 through 14 during the Manning years, and we lost to, the Ravens, we lost to the Colts, we lost to Seattle, I was like, it's okay. One day we'll win a Super Bowl. Like, because I just genuinely felt that way. And football also was not a year-round thing for me like it is now. Okay. It was September through February. I didn't know anything about free agency. I didn't know anything about the draft. But I think the only thing that may compare is Dallas last year, Game 7 with the Avs. And honestly, after that, I was pissed. I was just nothing other than pissed. But yesterday, I was just sad. I was just sad that our season had to end like that, man.
That's crazy that you think this was worse than the Ravens 2012.
Dude, 2012 is probably the worst loss.
Like,
that's way worse.
Yeah, like, listen, but I didn't understand the magnitude of it at the time. Like,
yeah, that's fine. That's fair. From your perspective, that's where
Forget how young you are.
I think for me, the Bills win was probably like the worst win for me in Broncos.
That's a great way to put it.
Because it was one of those where it was like, I've never felt that feeling of like so much excitement. I think I don't know if I mentioned it last, but I wrote in my siblings group chat, like, this has got to be what heroin feels like. I was on cloud 9. It was amazing.
Yeah, no.
And then to get like the win completely taken out of your sails to the point where you're just like, in the back of my head, I knew, I was like, oh, season's over. I mean, it's done because we're not going to win 2 games. We might win 1, but we're probably not going to win 2. It's just like such a deflating feeling to the point where like, and you don't really realize how much it hits you until you actually, until you finally do lose. And then you're like, all right.
Yeah. Until Jarrett Stidham shot puts a backward pass. You're like, yeah.
But that being said, Mark, you said last week's the worst win. Like, would you rather have lost that game and had him not get injured? Or would you rather win that game and have him get injured? If that's your 2 choices.
No, I mean, obviously you're going to want to win the game, even if he gets injured, because at least at that point you still have a chance. Whereas if you lose, it's a 0% chance.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where it's like, I feel like if we had lost the game and then you found out that Bo Nix broke his ankle, you would have felt a lot better about losing. Because you'd have been like, all right,
our season's over
we ain't going to do shit anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's such a unique, like everything about that was unique because it's not even like it happened in the game. That's the craziest part. I still don't feel like it's actually fully like settled in yet.
Well, I should have known that for whatever reason, I mean, this honestly, the way this entire season went was like week after week after week was just like, there's something about this team. Like this might be like a team of destiny. Like we're further along than we should be. Absolutely nobody predicted us to be the number 1 seed. And then for us to beat the Bills and Bo outplay Josh Allen and the defense not play well, but get turnovers, which they hadn't got turnover. I mean, it just felt like this weird, like, oh my gosh moment. This is unbelievable. And I was like, I was so excited. Like when he kicks that field goal through, I was like almost on the verge of crying because I was just like, this has been the most insane season. And you're right. When you find that out, you're just like, what is this? Like, why would you? It's like you get to go to Disneyland as a little kid and then like you get strep throat like on the way to like the park or something. It's like, I don't understand why we did all this. Like, what was that for? But yeah,
I guess the only real silver lining is
it was still a great season.
Yeah, I think the only like real silver lining with that is like thankfully it wasn't like an ACL or an Achilles.
Yeah.
Where it was gonna bleed into next season because that would have just been brutal. But thankfully it seems like everything went good and he'll be back ready for even mini camp. So
is this like a Bo Nix like origin story? Like, like
yes,
he gets hurt right before and then he's like, I would love to see in his mind in the booth that he was watching yesterday's game in just absolutely like, oh my, like just, I couldn't even imagine, like as bad as it was for us to be watching that. Can you imagine the guy who's literally got us to this spot and then seeing the plays that led up to us losing that game yesterday had to have been excruciating. And I will say, for a lot of people, like I said this yesterday to you, Mark, but for a lot of people who weren't full-on Bo Nix believers, him not playing in a football game might have been the best game he's ever had because you got to see the difference, right? You got to see like, holy crap, this dude is 100% legit. How dynamic of a quarterback he is compared. Now he's not always perfect and he's had, issues, second year player, all that stuff. But like, there's no doubt on anybody's mind in Denver, we win that game. And I like our chances in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. We win the Super Bowl. I need to change my time. We win the Super Bowl. Bo Nix healthy. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And it's just, that's the gut wrenching thing too, is it's like, it's just an unwritten story, man.
I know.
And I do believe we're going to be really good and compete next year, but you never know what happens, man. You never
know what happens.
And so it's like, it was such a good opportunity for that Bo Nix legacy to continue to be written after such a big win, fourth quarter comeback, down 4, drives him down the field, all that good stuff. And then it's just like, nope.
I'll tell you what, the best thing that happened to Josh Allen was this Bo Nix injury because nobody wanted to talk about how Bo Nix absolutely outperformed him last week. And that's really what I'll be able to hang my hat on for the entire offseason, that we got a top 5 quarterback. We got a top 5 quarterback, top 10 at worst.
And I honestly, in the clutch, I'd put him up against literally anybody in the world at any point. Like, you do that against the Bills in the clutch, down 4, you have to score a touchdown, in the placement and the way that he did it. And then in overtime, he hit Cortland Sutton, who dropped the football on the first drive, and then he makes the plays on the second drive. I mean, it's just like he proved to everybody, any doubters of like, oh, it's going to happen in the playoffs. Oh, he's won these games. That was the definitive like statement win. And it just is like, I can't believe it ended the way it ended. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why, but there's a reason for it. We'll find out down the road.
Will you do me a
It does suck for the Bills too, man, because they would have probably beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure they would.
In my opinion.
Would you do me a huge favor and highlight this comment from Max Ray 6817? I heard Bo got hurt celebrating in a locker room, not the last play. Dude, this is why we've got to keep the vertical streams going, because then we get the completely unhinged comments. Dude, okay, so was that story about Sean Payton chest bumping Bo Nix and then Bo Nix being like, "Oh shit, don't do that"? Was that just completely made up BS? Like,
yes.
Dude, okay, yeah.
Well, the account that put it out was like a Bills account.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was so obvious he was limping and he knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
And the one guy who doesn't celebrate is Bo. Like, in every big win, it's not like he's like going crazy, running doing all kinds of stuff. He's always like very, like, so it's a ridiculous idea anyways. But like, if you go back and look at those last plays, look at the way he threw the Marvin Mims ball. He had like nothing on that. I mean, it was like, I'm just going to throw this up for grabs. Yeah, of course he was hurt. Like, come on. What are we talking about?
Man.
It's a good throw too. But yeah, he put no weight on that ankle.
was smart,
He just all arm. Just do it up.
Shall we go through and do some giddy up, steady up, hold your horses, and then maybe give our Super Bowl predictions?
No steady up. No steady up. We're done with that.
Steady down. Steady down.
Steady down. Steady up was a 1 week thing, and we're done with that.
It hurt taking my nameplate, my steady nameplate down at the end of the game, man. You know that hurt. You know, I'll never forget when we went up 7-0, just like we went up 7-0 last year against the Bills. Felt like we were going to win the Super Bowl for that first quarter, baby. That was amazing. We'll never forget that. Anyways, carry on, Jeremy.
Yeah, this has been the year of no Diddy and no Steady. All right. I want you guys to rank the blame. And I'm gonna throw this to Kodiak because he went off about Troutman and the other guys, but I'm gonna give him some other options. I want you to rank the blame here.
Great.
Sean Payton, Jarrett Stidham, Will Lutz, receivers hands to be more precise, or the weather. Give me your 1 through 5 on that.
Shit, honestly, number one for me would probably be the weather. The reason I think it's the weather is because it completely destroyed your chances of coming back in the game. But you know, and I do think that is a different game if it's not a complete snow globe in the second half. Regardless, number two, these kind of go hand in hand. 2 and 3, Sean Payton, but not for the reasons that everybody else had aligned. You know, I think the receivers, once again, the construction of this roster just not good enough. Too much Troutman, too much Kroll, too much or Kroll wasn't even out there. But you just can't have guys like that next year. Okay, what I'm saying, I know I've said Troutman's name probably 1,000 times this show, but yeah, no. The thing is, you just got to take it more seriously next year. Okay, you can't have all these guys to block when you're bad at running the ball. When you do run the ball, you get 3 yards per carry. But number 4, I'll probably go with Will Lutz. He's been money all year. He's one of those guys like Sean Payton where you're not here without him. But unfortunately, he picked a really bad time to have the worst game. And then I also do blame Crawshaw a little bit for the blocked kick too, based on where they lined up. Even if Will Lutz completely ate it in a presser, he was like, yeah, no, he didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. Number 5, Jarrett Stidham. Like Sean said, it was going to have to be a full team effort for this to be accomplished, and unfortunately, it just wasn't. And once again, I think he is one of the most ready backups. You saw what it looked like in the first half. The offense actually looked functional. The offense actually looked fine. But then I think that's why I blame the weather, number 1, because you lose your lead, and you had your chances to go up, but then it just destroyed any hope of you coming back.
Wow.
Yep. Man, if you would have asked me right after the game yesterday, I probably would have put Jarrett first, Sean second, Will third, in that order somewhere. But like, they're all to blame. And I realized after the fact, Jarrett Stidham made a huge mistake. But like, Jarrett Stidham was always Jarrett Stidham, and it was our expectations that got completely out of whack. It wasn't Jarrett Stidham that was like showed anything for us to have those expectations and then blew those expectations. Like, that was all the media and us. And that wasn't fair for him, but like, it sucks for him that like, he's going to literally think about that for the rest of his life. He got the perfect opportunity to win an AFC championship and then like had that play, and that's going to suck. And I mean, it's just a guy trying to make a play, right? But that was tough. But Sean, I mean, he was also up a creek too. It's tough to blame him because we're here because of him, but it's also like
uniforms.
It wasn't his best day. Yeah, it was the uniforms. It was the uniform guy that made the mistake.
Great comment, Max. That's so true. We would have won in the throwbacks.
And I didn't add this to the list, but I honestly think injuries is probably number 1 at this point. Like, of course, of the Bo injury. But even if you take the Bo injury out of it, like, we should not be throwing it to Tyler Bidet in the clutch. We should not be needing to. Yeah, I mean, it sucks about Pat Bryant, it sucks about Troy Franklin, it sucks about like all that stuff. But we overachieved and we were where we were. And it's just like you said, we ran out of gas, Kodiak. So, okay. I think I know what Mark would say to this answer, so I'm going to give it to Dave.
Okay. All right.
The Bo Nix doubt and slander has been permanently extinguished.
Oh man, I would love to giddy up to this, but it's hold your horses. People are just going to forget. People are gonna forget. They'll blame again. The reason why we've seen people, for some reason, have no idea what it means to control a catch through the, you got to survive the ground. It's because people don't want to admit, man, that Bo Nix absolutely deserved to win that game over Josh Allen on, last Saturday or whatever. So, for some reason, is it because Bo has a short name? Is it because he went to Auburn? Is it because he played for Oregon, who, we all hate, right? Is it because he played for Oregon? I don't understand why people just hate a really darn good quarterback and a great teammate. It's not like he's cringe like Russell Wilson. I don't understand it. So, man, there's always going to be haters, I think, with Bo Nix. And I think also anytime you just have a Sean Payton coach team, because, again, Sean Payton has these weird haters. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. He wins a ton. For all you flat-out dumbasses saying he's not the guy or needs to be fired, who the hell are you replacing him with? There's not one coach in the NFL that's not flawed. We saw Sean McVay lose last game on also some interesting game management decisions as well. So it's just what happens, man. Even Sean McVay is probably my favorite coach in the NFL. Like, even he doesn't call perfect games. Okay. So yeah, if I forget where I was going with this, but yeah, people hate Sean Payton because of Bountygate. Personally, I think Bountygate was awesome, and we need to be fans of Sean Payton because that's awesome, man. That's like the blitz the league, putting bounties on guys, doing steroids in the locker room, on the field. That's what I'm talking about. We need to bring back some of that old school mentality in football.
Yeah, it is weird. You're absolutely right. Sean Payton and Bo Nix have like closet, not even sometimes closet, but just haters. And like they'll be quiet when the Broncos go rip off 11 straight, but the second they could jump on them, they will. And it's like what's your deal with this? Like, you like sleep with your wife or something? Like, what's happening?
Like,
I don't
even Teflon Don 40 saying Sean is very unlikable. I don't know why people. I love it.
Yeah, what's so unlikable about his?
Some people
like
he's an asshole or something.
Cocky?
It's like, yeah,
it's
he's
the
head coach,
but it's like, is it kind of like the
same way?
Is it kind of like the Conor McGregor thing where he's like going to talk about it and then like try to back it up? You know what I mean? Maybe it's that. I never like. As a Bronco fan my whole life, watching him in New England, or I'm sorry, in New Orleans, I was like, he just seems like a good coach. I didn't think anything really. I didn't have like, oh, I really can't stand that guy. Or there wasn't like, I love that guy. To me, I was like, he seems like a really smart, good coach. And he's brought backups in and played really well. So I don't get it. The Bo Nix thing, I truly like being a Bo Nix, like truther for like the last couple of years. I truly think it stems from his beliefs, and he irritates a lot of people's demons, like just the way that they feel about like people in general. That kind of starts with that. And then the other thing is like people truly don't believe they didn't want to believe in him coming into the draft. And now they're like, I can't be wrong. And it's their own narcissism that can't just admit like, damn, he is pretty good. Like they can't do that. They have to somehow.
I still can't do it with Brock Purdy, to be honest.
Yep, I'm the same way.
I understand.
Yeah, but like I think that's where it's the mixture of those two things of really why people like they just can't let the Bo Nix thing go. Which it's like, okay, well, Tebow is the same way with the first part of that. I just like, how could you not like Tim Tebow? Like he seems like a fantastic person and like he's tries his best. You can totally have an argument for he's not the most talented quarterback, but like as a person, you're going to hate this person. Like why? I don't get it, but it is what it is.
That's a great question, Jeremy. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mark, I got one. I want you to rank now that we're officially in the offseason, I need you to rank the Broncos' needs. And I'm going to give you 5 options here.
All right.
Linebacker, tight end, receiver, running back, or other, wherever you want to go.
Ooh. Linebacker, tight end, wide receiver, running back, and other.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
I would say number one need, without a doubt, has got to be the tight end position. I think we need an entire revamp of the tight end room, top down. If we want to keep Ingram, I'm fine with that, but never with the mindset of he's a part of the solution. He's just going to be an extra guy that cool if it works out.
Use him in the slot. How about that?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
But an entirely redone tight end room is going to be number one. I think number two is probably, oh man, this is so tough. This is really tough. I'm probably going to put linebacker at number two, because it's about time that we get like a legitimate off-ball linebacker that can just do a lot of things. The thing is, it's just that's so much easier said than done. You don't find those guys. You don't find like the Zach Bonds and a lot of those guys that kind of just grow on trees that fit your system. And, you know, it's crazy. We got wide receiver and we got tight end, but I mean running back, but I feel like you've got to look at the interior of I feel like you got to look at the offensive line in a way, right? I think a really big need for us, and why I think in the first round we should look at drafting a very, very talented tackle that can play left guard for you, with Ben Powers, I think, leaving this offseason, and be able to build out and really have a good run blocking unit that once because this offensive line is a strength of ours, but it's going to age out eventually. So I think it's a really big need to be able to address of having the future's starters at the offensive line position. So I'd probably put, offensive guard, but eventual tackle as my number three. You guys are going to hate me, but I'm going to go in line with what I always say. I think 4 has got to be wide receiver. I think we need to have a wide receiver, like a talented, true alpha wide receiver one. I've said this for a long time. I got a lot of hate for it, but I like Sutton. I love the fact that he loves being a Bronco. I think he's a phenomenal locker room guy. And I think we should keep him on the current contract that he's in, but he is not a wide receiver one, period. He's just not.
Wide receiver.
And we need to have a legitimate, like Jalen Waddle would have been amazing. Think about Rashid Shaheed. We had the opportunity to get him. What a trade that looks like for the Seahawks. So we need an absolute playmaking wide receiver. And weirdly enough, part of the frustration, my biggest frustration with Sean Payton this year, is I feel like we had a very, very good playmaker at the wide receiver position. And his name was Marvin Mims, and he was not utilized until everybody got hurt. But every single time he's played and gotten a big role, all he's done is make big-time plays. Obviously, I think Pat Bryant's going to be good. But, yeah, the wide receiver room. And then the last one is running back. And really because I feel like as much as our running backs were underwhelming this year, I think that there were 2 things that went into it that were more to blame than the running backs. The complete lack of commitment to the run. I mean, when you're giving one running back 6 carries in a game versus the Bills and another one 4, it doesn't really matter what they average. They're not getting any opportunities. And the run blocking or the run scheme that we have just doesn't seem to be working very well. I get it looked a lot better with J.K. Dobbins, but weirdly enough, Bo Nix really started to hit his stride after J.K. Dobbins got hurt, so I don't know how that changed the offense. And also, running back is just significantly easier to find playmakers at that position. There's going to be a whole lot in free agency. There's always a whole bunch you can get in the draft. We just can't ignore it like we have.
We just can't draft basketball players this year.
We can't draft basketball players. I was good with the RJ Harvey pick, but why not get another running back, right? Or why not sign one in free agency? You could have gotten Rico
Monongai
Dowdle.
would have been huge in the snow yesterday, Mark.
Monongai would have been a stud.
That's the biggest thing you've been right about, like with the draft, man. You're absolutely right.
I'm convinced if we had Kyle Monongai, we definitely win that game. But obviously that's all speculation. So yeah, that's how I would rank it. I'm curious. My question to you guys is it safe to assume, or is it safe to, can we all finally agree? Because I don't know if we agreed on this earlier when we talked about it like several months ago, but can we all agree that the new Broncos Stadium needs to have a retractable roof on it? because of the weather.
Oh,
Yes, I'm not a football purist. I agree with playing in snow. But real quick before this gets passed on to David and Jeremy, two things that I did not mention that I didn't get the chance to that I thought about while Mark was going on his segment for Giddy Up or Hold Your Horses. First of all, Quinn Miners was atrocious yesterday.
Yes.
He picked a really bad time to have one of his worst games as a Bronco. I forgive him because I'll accept a bad game from anyone, but really bad time to have your worst game. And two, Jahdae Barrett, speaking of the draft, okay, you need more from your 2026 rookies next year, okay? You can't have, Jahdae Barrett, a common cop-out when that pick was made was, well, he's a 2026 pick. I'm like, okay, cool. So in the AFC Championship, we're getting 5 snaps for our first-round pick, okay? The other first-round pick on the other side of the field was the starting left tackle, all right? So all I'm going to say is that, yeah, you need to take this draft. You need to hone it in, be a little bit more serious, and be a little bit more serious about your immediate contributions from your rookies, okay? I get, RJ was kind of thrust into his role. Crawshaw was phenomenal. Q Robinson, man, anytime he's got on the field, he's just made plays. But I feel like, not to say that we should have done this because I agree with you, Mark. I don't really like taking running backs in the first round, but Omari and Hampton would have been much more impactful for this team yesterday than Jahdae Barrett. I'm not saying that Hampton wasn't even in my top 5 for that number 20 slot last April, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Dude, Jahdae Barrett feels like right now, this sucks to say, he feels like a Shane Ray pick right now.
I wouldn't go that far because I think he's looked good while he's been on the field, whereas Shane Ray I just never think he did. And also, Jahdae Barrett's never getting a Chiefs tattoo. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Man,
Shane Ray was a special kind of
but you got to move him to safety next year. I just think that's the best. You just who are you going to play him over?
Well, are you going to play him over Jones? That's the thing.
Well, here's a good topic of discussion. You can save $9 million by cutting Brandon Jones. So you could make the argument because there's going to come a time, and we can also have the conversation, and maybe we'll save this for next week. But you can also have the conversation of trading, like looking at moving someone maybe like a Riley Moss. Now, when I say that, I'm not an advocate for it because I thought he was solid. But if you're not going to pay him after next year and you feel like you're going to be able to get good compensation for him, you have the luxury to do it. You've got Jahdae Barrett that's there that could at least you would be able to get the value out of him. You still got good depth with Chris Abrams-Drain. I think Jaquan McMillan is just way too good to move on from him and put Jahdae in the slot. So it's going to be a conversation because you got to pay Jaquan at some point. You're probably not going to, and you're spending so much money on this defense. There's got to come a time where you've got to move on from these highly paid guys and allocate dollars elsewhere. Like I love Brandon Jones, but it would make sense if we moved on from him. And
that would hurt, but yeah.
Jahdae Barrett would be in the conversation. I mean, he could be, but
you just need you need your first round pick starting. You need him starting somewhere.
Yep.
Like Vance Joseph doesn't like to play rookies, like he never has. So I'm not ready to be like, oh, that was a bad pick. But like, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like this season, yesterday specifically, would I have liked to have Colston Loveland instead of Jahdae Barrett if he would have been there? Sure. Would I have rather had Mecca Buka in there? Sure. If I would have rather have, like you said, Amari and Hampton in there? Sure. So if you're looking at it yesterday, yes. But there's, he's got his whole career ahead of him. It might end up being the guy who wins you a Super Bowl or wins you an AFC title too next year down the line somewhere. So it's tough, but the tight end room was I mean, when I say like this team overachieved and some people are like, they didn't overachieve, but dude, we had like 0 tight ends this year. We were like, thank God, J.K. Dobbins. Like at the time when we signed J.K. Dobbins, we thought he would like maybe come in and give some help. And he ended up being so instrumental. Like that was such a huge blessing for this team. When I looked at that game yesterday, I'm just looking at like, who's a big target that Jarrett Stidham or Bo Nix or anybody could throw it to. I would love to have a tight end that could just be like money for like the Bills have or whoever.
Should have had Loner out there, man. He's
something.
To be that guy.
He's 6'8". He could have been good in the snow. Big catch radius, even if he can't play tight end.
Exactly. And then or a running back that you don't need to do something tricky on 4th and 1. You could just hand it to him and he can get it.
Dude,
On 3rd and 1, any of those.
dude,
Give me one of those running backs. That's what I need.
get rid of Tyler Bidet, Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm sorry, man. You can't win games giving Jaleel McLaughlin the ball. You just can't. You can't do it consistently. So yeah, I think we draft one, we sign one.
This is such a good free agency class too. And I never advocate for signing free agent running backs. But dude, you could bring J.K. Dobbins back. You can sign Tyler Algier, and you can, and you could even draft another running back. You can sign Rashad White, who is really good from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bring in as many guys as you possibly can, but give me an entirely new room.
Yes. And if you are very conservative with your investment, like you were this past offseason, you have to actually commit to the UDFA portal. Don't bring in 8 offensive linemen. Don't bring in 8 defensive linemen. Okay. Be actually serious about this. All right. Now is entering your window because, like I said, if Lil Jordan Humphrey plays 74% of the snaps in the conference championship next year, you have failed as an organization. If Adam Troutman gets 53% of the snaps next year in the conference championship, you have failed as an organization. Shit, even Tyler Bidet, 16 snaps. That's a 28% snap share. That is way too many. Okay.
Yeah.
Jaleel McLaughlin, I don't want to see him get a role again. 10 snaps yesterday. And for the style of game that was played, that was too many as well, I felt like. And it's not like you're going to just magically have a solution. But yes, once again, take it more seriously next year around your quarterback. All right. Bo Nix, I'm ready. I was one of those people that I'm throughout the offseason or even this season, I was like, I don't think he's necessarily covering a lot of holes. Man, oh man, you saw that come to fruition yesterday.
Yeah, it's what I said last week. I said he covers a lot of sins of this offensive line that we don't. PFF and all these people who think we have the greatest offensive line ever created is I don't know what you're watching. He's constantly under pressure and constantly making, chicken salad out there. So we're not bad, but at the same time, the first drive in with Jarrett Stidham, I was like, oh God, we are in trouble because he looked like he was I was watching a YouTube video at half speed or 1/4 speed. It was just the difference between the two on just pure athleticism and just dynamic. It was just okay, this is going to be, I mean, if we win this game, it is going to be a miracle. Honestly, that's how I felt. And it's just, he needs weapons and we can't have him do everything. We need to have some pressure valves for him. You have to have a big tight end. You have to have a good running back. You saw what Terrell Davis did for John Elway. You saw all this stuff. If you can have dynamic weapons for him, I honestly think this team can be amazing. Even somebody, and then another one of the people we were talking about, our position groups was linebacker. Dude, if we had Carson Swessinger out there instead of Barron yesterday, it's another one we would have just been
oh my God,
we would have been unbelievable, right? So it just goes to show you you need to. The reason why teams like Chicago is because they hit over and over and over in their draft. They turn their franchise around. The reason why New England's in the Super Bowl is because they hit on so many of their young players. We cannot take projects or flyers on guys in the 6th and 7th rounds. We have to make every single thing count because I truly believe, I don't care who was playing yesterday. If we had Mark's running back in there yesterday, we win that game.
Have some respect on his name.
I know, from Louisville. I just couldn't remember at the time, but we need a guy like that just can take a lot of pressure off of the third downs, the easy stuff, make stuff easy. Second and short, we have no problem. We can get it. That's what this team really needs. And it's going to be up to the Paytons to go do that. Now, I'm not going to complain how couldn't you have had it all right away? That they've done a really good job of turning us around from a couple years ago. So I'm not complaining at all. But now that the money's freed up and now that we have one more year to build, the positions of need are pretty obvious. That's all I have to say.
I think it's as obvious as ever now too, because it's very clear when you look at this team. The reason I have so much optimism is because I think we have the best or among the best offensive line units in the NFL, and I think we have the best defensive line unit in the NFL, or at least you could say top 3 in both, including the edge rushers and all that. And when you have that, you're gonna win a lot of games. So now that we know we have that and it's solidified, and I even think maybe the Paytons thought our roster wasn't going to be as good. Like, I don't even think they expected 14 wins. But now that we see it, it's like, all right, we got the core. We've got the core of this team built out. We've got to be able to just get guys that can make plays. I don't care about they fit the system or they can block or any of that shit. Just give me somebody that can go out there and make plays all over the field. That's what I want to see.
Now, this has been brought up in our Discord a little bit. I'm curious what you guys think about this because it kind of goes against how we've talked about the wide receiver room and the construction of the offense. Is this the right time to bring in George Pickens?
No. I just don't think he fits the character of this team.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you can swing a trade, like Pickens would be
he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Oh, okay. So yeah, so he wouldn't cost you a draft pick. Absolutely. Okay, I'm all for getting as many weapons as possible. I know that he doesn't fit the moniker of what we look for. I know that he can often be very frustrating, especially in games where he doesn't get the ball. And honestly, you really don't have a better passing situation in the NFL than Dallas year in and year out because their defense, for the most part, is always terrible. Ever since Zeke got washed, they've thrown the ball like 50 times a game. Dak always really produces at a high level. So I get I get why a lot of people would go for it, especially because of his character. Like, holy crap. So he is one of the most unhinged guys in the league. But yes, absolutely. I'm all for getting as much talent as possible around Bo Nix. I don't care who it is. Once again, because I'm going to think when we sign George Pickens, I'm going to think about this game. This game is going to stick with me for a long time. All right. The losses stick with me a lot more than the wins do. And I cannot for the life of me forgive this organization if they roll into next year with going into a conference championship game with a similar skill position arsenal that they headed into yesterday with.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan Humphrey better not be on this team.
Well, Jordan Humphrey.
Listen, I agree. I agree, Kodiak. Like, we need to upgrade, but not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell would I bring George Pickens to this team. I don't care. I don't care if he's the most talented receiver in the NFL. First of all, Sean Payton would fucking hate the guy. I mean, absolutely. And secondly, George Pickens always plays like shit in big games. He dropped a lot of balls and made a lot of really bad plays. He made a lot of good plays. But, like, yeah, you've still got to find that balance. Like, I get it. Like, somebody like Alec Pierce, for example, is a lot more intriguing for me because I think he's unbelievably underrated, and I think he's very good, and he's only 25, and he could be cheaper. He would fit the mold, but yes, I mean, you need to find that alpha number one, but I would say find me one that's not going to be the drama queen like George Pickens. But I get what you're saying. It's just like not him, though. Give me anybody else.
Oh, yeah. I think, don't we have a couple of guys on expiring deals? I'm trying to think. There are some guys, there was a comment here that said, okay, Greenlaw's the only linebacker under contract. Harvey's the only running back. All right, perfect. So you have, your obvious, you have your obvious holes right there. And obviously it goes just beyond the skill position arsenal. I think, who do we have? Is Ingram a free agent? No. We signed him to a 2-year deal. But
he can be cut and save, I think, about somewhere between 8 and 10 mil. Something like that.
I'd be fine with bringing him back. But once again, Mark is like,
he needs to be utilized.
Oh, yeah, he needs to be utilized. But I look at him and I'm just like, is he just washed? Did we just pitch him something, because we made a big deal about getting Ingram.
How many slot snaps did he play this year? I'm looking this up right now because I feel like they barely even put him in the slot.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I think, honestly, Troutman and Kroll are on expiring deals. I think you could probably cut those guys tomorrow and it would make me equally happy rather than just let their contracts expire.
You have Drew Sanders under contract.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, we
do.
Yeah.
You could get Rashid Shaheed. Listen, I would love to get Kyle Pitts here. I'm just not convinced that Kyle Pitts would play a lot in this offense. He showed a lot this year.
Talk about a guy that Sean Payton would hate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But at least he doesn't necessarily have like the diva traits per se. But he just wouldn't like. My thing is Evan Ingram sucks at blocking too, and you made him block a lot. Like, why? Just bring in Kyle Pitts and don't let him block. Find other guys that can block.
See, he played 43% of the snaps in the slot this year. That was it. In his big year in Jacksonville, he played 54.
Mm-hmm. So maybe he's just not very good because, like, I feel like Kyle Pitts, man, at 25 years old, like, he's not going to be that much worse of a blocker than what Evan Ingram is, but he's dynamic as a pass catcher.
Dude, I feel like
But it's
all
just
of
like
his
that's where the
targets were
frustration lies with Peyton, is because it's like he needs a very specific type of player. So you're shrinking the pool of guys that you can actually realistically bring in. No rookie's going to come in and be a dominant blocker and a dominant pass catcher that you're going to get in the end of the third round. And so it's like sometimes you got to make things work. Like you get a talented guy like Kyle Pitts and you figure out how to use him. He showed.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be a bust, but he balled out this year. I felt like.
Dude, I just got to show you this. This is Evan Ingram. This is mainly where he was targeted throughout the season, dude. Just freaking in the flats.
Okay, to be fair, even in his nuclear year with Jacksonville, his 8 out was 5 flat. So he quite literally was a check down merchant. Now, should we have given him more opportunities to be dynamic in the receiving game? Yes, I was sick of seeing all those guys that I've said 1,000 times in this video out there instead of Evan Ingram, because you made a big deal about getting Evan Ingram. So once again, that's another thing that I can blame on the coaching staff. But regardless, just talking about what kind of archetype you want, it's so tough because Sean Payton would rather have a great blocker with bad receiving skills out there than the other way around, which, okay, that's fine. But when you're running the ball for 3 yards per carry, it's like, what's the point? That's the whole thing I've been complaining about.
Exactly. Yeah. If
And
we had a
Evan
good,
had nobody to
run
blame.
game, it would be irrelevant.
Yeah.
You'd be fine with that. But our run game sucks too. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And Evan Ingram, like, I know he probably was really frustrated. He probably thought he was going to get, a lot more passes his way this year and all that. And everybody expected that. But like, he dropped it so much as well. Like, he has no one to blame but himself as far as a lot of that opportunity. Like, he made a couple plays where you're like, why isn't this guy getting the football more? But there was so many times that you're like, how are you dropping that, dude? Like, what are we doing? So, I mean, tight end is huge one. And I think around the league, people are like understanding how valuable it is for young quarterbacks, especially, and just in general. And like Terrence Ferguson going as high as he did, like, you're going to have to make the investment. And I just think this year showed like that is a huge spot not to have decent play at. Like,
we could have got Loveland or what was the guy from the Colts, dude? If we could have gotten one of those guys, that would have been so sick.
You'd have had to trade up.
Yeah, you would have had to have given a lot probably to go to Chicago at 10 for that.
Now, when we drafted Barron, I was personally like, let's trade back a little bit and then maybe you can double dip and maybe get Terrence Ferguson. But even I didn't think he would go as high as he went.
No.
Could have gotten Harold Fannin.
Absolute
baller.
Yeah.
He is so good, dude, in Cleveland.
But Andy, another guy who says that Andy says he can't block at all. And I'm just like, whatever, I think, he's ascending, whereas Ingram is descending, right? Ingram's 31. And I don't know, man. It is frustrating with the play that we've gotten, because once again, I felt like this offseason, I was saying it, they didn't take it seriously enough. I kept saying it. And unfortunately, it just came back to bite us at the worst time. And the craziest thing is it's still not a very valuable position. And it's still not a position that Sean historically values. Okay. Unless you have Jimmy Graham on your team, the average starting tight end in a Sean Payton offense gets around 450 yards a year. It's still not a valuable position, and he has never used higher than a early third round pick on the position.
Dude, he should have gone to the Chargers. Aronde Gadsden almost had 700 yards this year, like a 9.5 ADOT.
Holy cow. Yeah,
And
exactly.
The crazy thing is, too, is like Jimmy Graham couldn't block either. He figured it out. So like he didn't use him to block. He had other guys that could block. So get somebody like that. Kyle Pitts can make those kinds of plays.
Weren't y'all big on Fannin this past draft season? Imagine we had him, man.
Yeah, Harold Fannin's been a stud.
I mean, as long as we can figure it out, and they have to know. Like, George Payton is watching tight end film right now, in my opinion. He should be. Like, come on, dude. We like figure it out. Get the right type of guys in here. Gadsden's a perfect example of finding a guy later in the draft that you just like can do something. Like, it has to be a priority, and you have to like take some pressure. It's just interesting the way this turned out, because if we would have had we almost made to the Super Bowl with like the. I mean, I'm just saying. Look at the starting roster yesterday. We almost made it to the Super Bowl with them. That's crazy to me on offense.
Dude, we would have won the Super Bowl. We would have won the Super Bowl with Bo Nix, this flawed offense. Now we got 35 mil freed up. Thank God Russell Wilson's out of here, man.
Bro,
now they will feel the might of our powers.
And what's so frustrating is if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt and we win yesterday, you're getting J.K. Dobbins back. You're probably going to get Pat Bryant back. I don't know how bad Troy's hamstring is, but there's a good chance he's playing. Back. And now you're like almost full strength, if not like right there. But the way it turned out is like you got a snowstorm, you got Jarrett Stidham, you got Tyler Bidet, and you got like little Jordan Humphrey. And it's just like that's how close.
You can't forget about Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, there's one guy that you did not mention, Jeremy. Troutman. Yeah. That's the big reason.
To me, it's like I just never even think about Troutman. To me, it's like he should be like the third tight end, and like I don't elevate him in my mind as being like an option ever anyways. So it's kind of having like the candy bar in like your glove box. It's like it's there if you need it, but like I'm not counting on that for my dinner. Like he's just not that, so but I'm with you. You can't rely on that. Like I understand that Sean has his guys, his personal favorite guys, the little Jordan Humphreys, the Troutmans, and that kind of thing. But like, that's where George needs to be a little louder in this offseason and be like, we have to address this. Like this team can go from like, I think we'll have a good defense no matter what, but like if you can get to the offense to the next level, I think we can really be something for a long time. So
man, who is that guy? Nick Gargiulo. Don't forget about him, baby.
Oh my God, I forgot about him.
Yeah. Don't forget about him. He might be our starting left guard next year.
I hope his ankle's good. Yeah, that was a pretty bad break, but no, he could be. Nick Gargiulo he looked pretty good. And Jeremy, you already know George Payton. He's watching film, but he's watching cornerback film.
I was about to say,
yeah, definitely.
He can't wait to watch the corners.
Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves.
And this is a phenomenal corner draft, according to Andy. Yeah. So he's salivating. He's like, dude, what corner can we bring in to come and play 7 snaps a game for us in 2026?
Yeah, and like that's another thing is that I've said this a lot. You're not seeing the lack of, cap space, and you're not seeing the lack of being down, 3 seconds on the defensive side of the ball, but you are on offense. So it's time to hone in. It's time to, really gear up. And you know what? I think they will. I think, this front office, this team has shown that whenever they set out a goal, they pretty much can accomplish it. My only worry is that Sean Payton might not think that Jaleel McLaughlin, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and all those guys are bad players. That's my one concern. And I feel like they might run it back with him.
Well, if he unblocks me on Twitter, he'll know they are.
Well, yeah. I mean, he said he loves these internet shows. So Sean Payton, I know you're watching us right now. Adam Troutman, if he gets 53% of the snaps next year in the AFC Championship, you're going to start to lose me, man. Nah, just kidding.
Yeah, you have a better chance of just having Frank Crum be that tight end that like he blocks 90% of the time. He's going to block way better than Troutman. And I'm convinced that he could do just as much in the pass game as Troutman can. Like that's kind of where I am with Troutman too, man. I'm just put in Frank Crum and roll. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Before we wrap up, I just got to say, we have had a few Patriot fans in here, and I just need to say, Paul, your dog's ugly as shit. Right.
Throwing shade at the dog. All right. That's not where I thought you were going with that. That was a curveball.
Yeah, I was like, oh, good luck in the Super Bowl. Drake May's a beast. Like, that's where I thought you were going with that.
Nah, man. The Patriots fans, they don't deserve anything, man. They cheated their way to 6 Super Bowls, right? They had the Mahomes whistle before Mahomes, and nothing's going to be better than seeing them get their butt beat down by freaking Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks and that high-flying, unstoppable offense.
See, with everybody thinking it's going to be a blowout, though, that means I think the pendulum's going to swing the other way.
Okay,
everybody's giving the Patriots a lot of bulletin board material.
Yeah, well, right? I mean, we'll see. We'll see if Drake May's that guy. We'll see if Drake we'll see if he can complete over 50% of his passes this game. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think Seahawks will win, but I think it's going to be a close game because that would be more entertaining.
If Sam
usually
Darnold doesn't pull a Jarrett Stidham and make a bonehead mistake, and like they Seahawks should win, but that's not what happens so much. In 2 weeks leading up, who knows? I'm not going to be. I mean, look, the Patriots have had Boston in general has had like an unbelievable run in my lifetime of like championships. But I don't have a problem with Vrabel. I don't have a problem with Drake May. I don't have a problem with any of their.
No, it's just their fans.
It's just their fans are obnoxious, and it's just like, all right, well.
I think Drake May's fantastic.
Yeah. So
Drake May is crazy good. Now
he's pretty good for small hands.
Dog shit in the playoffs, and we just want to call it what it is. They say 3 top 5 defenses when. It's like that meme. Have you guys seen that meme? Luigi wins in Super Smash Bros. By doing nothing, where the CPU literally jumps off the stage and Luigi wins. That's literally what the Patriots' offense has been this entire postseason. Yeah. Like, they haven't needed to do anything because the opposition is just doing whatever. And once again, if you can make it to the Super Bowl and you can beat Sam Darnold, you can find a way to cover Smith-Njigba, and you can find a way to beat the best defensive schemer in the NFL, then Mazel tov, you've earned it. But let's not act like you're on some insane run right now.
Yeah, come on, man. Mike Vrabel is going to coach Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak. I mean, we'll just have to see, man. But I think Seattle's got a good thing going for them over there with their coaches.
And what sucks is I hate Seattle too.
Oh, you hate Seattle? See, I got no ill will with Seattle.
Oh, I hate the Seahawks.
No, F Seattle. Like
it's because I didn't grow up. I mean, I was too young when they were still in the division. That's why.
Oh no, it's not because they were still in the division. I hated them from the Legion of Boom, all the crap talking of Super Bowl 48. Because it's like we didn't have Von Miller, we didn't have Chris Harris, we didn't have all the
we didn't have anybody left. We snapped it over Manning's head to start the game.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just like, and they like are dunking on us for that. And I was like, all right, whatever. It's the fans. It's really just the fans.
Yeah,
they're just like the worst. And like the one team that I kind of was like, oh, and I'm rooting for them if it's not the Broncos, it was the Bills, and they completely derailed that whole shot.
The Bills, dude. I was on the Rams train this past weekend, and Sean McVay and Stafford, dude. That sucked. That sucked. I was rooting for the Rams.
See, that's the thing is like I'm not salty. I'm like good on them. Like I wouldn't if I was a Patriots fan right now, I'd be like, we played who we played, and they blew it and we didn't, and good on us. Like that's how they should be feeling. But like pretending like you are this unbelievable juggernaut and you haven't done anything yet is like, and you've had that streak is a little delusional. Like just be like, I can't believe we're like Mike Vrabel has the right approach. He like today he was like, I didn't think we would be here myself. Like, because he realizes, but it's like these people that have gotten spoiled by like these years of other teams. Like you're living in the past, bro. Like again, if they win the Super Bowl, they deserve to win because it's going to be a tough game in 2 weeks. And if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, if you would have told me the Seahawks were going to be a Super Bowl winner before the season started, I wouldn't believe that either. So good on both of those teams to get there.
And we could learn something from both, man. They've had some rookies. They've had some unbelievable rookies that have contributed to this team. I mean, on both sides. It's been damn impressive. I mean, look at what Nick Wari's done for the Seahawks.
So which baby mama does Stephon Diggs hug first if they win the Super Bowl?
Probably the most recent one.
Whichever one they tell him right before is actually his child.
I'd say the most recent one.
I don't know. I think they said he's expecting 4 kids this year.
He's on a Travis Henry run right there.
I know, dude. Travis Henry, the GOAT.
Travis Henry.
Man.
I know, man. I love Travis Henry.
Who is the OG of that? Was that the Jets cornerback, Cromartie? Remember he like
Cromartie, yeah.
Remember he was on Hard Knocks and he was like couldn't remember all 9 kids and they were all within like 1 or 2 years old and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait. That wasn't DRC. No. That was Antonio Cromartie.
Cromartie.
Yeah. He had 12 kids by 8 women. And I remember I followed this NFL meme page at the time, and the caption was, "This dude can't pull milk out of the fridge."
Yeah, no shit.
Somehow he can strap up on the field, but God knows he ain't strapping up.
That's the only place he's strapping up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Man, any final thoughts? Well, again, we'll probably have like a season wrap up, but yeah, any final thoughts on the season?
It was a glorious season. It was like one of the funnest seasons I've ever had, and a big part of it is just doing this with you guys and like having an outlet to like, talk about this, because I feel better even after a horrible loss. I feel better after we talk about it and get it out. So it's been amazing. The fact that people are in here commenting and talking football with us right now is like pretty. It's 20 years ago, if you would have been like, this is what you're going to be doing, like I would have been like, that's crazy. So it's a blessing no matter what. And it's been a great year, and we have a super bright future. And that doesn't mean we have guaranteed Super Bowls in the future or any of that, but just like what a great like community and team we have to cover right now. And it's just, I feel fortunate for that.
I know, man. I'll work hard to get us a full channel sponsor for next year.
Get on
Yeah,
it.
working on it too.
Dang, Paul got banned right at the end.
Oh, Paul couldn't hold out.
Poor guy.
He said, "Great game, go Pats." Banned. That's the one that got him banned, Cody.
That's the one that got him. Couldn't take it.
That's the one. That's the one that got him banned. I was surprised.
I mean, I was happy that he was watching along with us. Thank you for the review, but yeah, I don't know. I was just like, dude,
I know he was brain rot.
I didn't even realize he was on my channel, so I was like,
oh yeah,
shower.
yeah. No, it's great. It's great having those guys come in. But man, what one of the most memorable seasons in a long time, and definitely the funnest since we all started doing this YouTube thing. So yeah, we'll see what the Avs and Nuggets have for us. I'm holding the Stanley Cup final hockey puck right here.
Nice.
But you guys probably know this by now that I'm a Blackhawks fan. So it's really just Nuggets that have my hopes and dreams for the rest of the year. So Kodiak, Mark, Jeremy, anything else going on in your channels this week before we wrap up? Kodiak?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm gonna try to put out a lot of draft stuff. I've been currently watching a lot of draft stuff. I've been watching tight ends to, get my hopes up that we'll move on from Troutman this offseason. Either way, but yeah, no, great season with y'all. Loved it. And yeah, just subscribe to my NFL channel. But also, my last name is Lang, Lang. And if you put Langy, Langy, into your YouTube search bar, you can watch me play Madden, because I'm going to do quite a bit of that this offseason as well. I'm going to try to start like actually doing rebuilds and whatever, because I mean, I don't really like playing Madden, but it's a great way to engage with fans. I like playing college football way more, so I'll do some rebuilds with there as well. But yeah, going to be doing that while balancing this Broncos stuff. And man, I am blessed to be joined with these incredible gentlemen every single Monday night, and it was a fun year. That's all I can really say.
It was great. And I just got to say, you were so right about the Giants being absolute horrible this year.
Wait, so they went I said they'd go 3-14, and they went 14-3. So, man, look how wrong I was. I was off by a game.
No,
Wait,
Giants.
Or they went 4-13.
Yeah, the Giants went 4-13.
Oh, okay. You said 14-3. Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, we got you.
Oh, dude, you got an Oregon shirt on, man?
Oh yeah, of course.
Boo.
If you guys haven't been to Rally House, it's like Pac-12 Depot in there. The only thing is they have way too much Chief stuff. I don't know why.
Way too much.
It's disgusting. I think I literally told the dude, I was like, put more schools from the Pac-12, put more schools from the Big 12 over here, and I will literally come to the store every day.
Yeah, that we shop at the same Rally House because it's just down the street from us.
Yeah.
It's a good one. But yeah, way too much Chiefs. What are we doing, Rally House?
Yeah. No, man. Mark, what you got going on this week with Marky Sports?
Yeah, I got a new draft channel I started. It's called NFL Mark Draft. You guys can check it out if you'd like.
How many subs you got?
I'm like at 17 or 18, bro.
Drop it in the Discord if you haven't. I'll be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, no, I will. I really want to start. I mean, I love the NFL draft. Anyone that's followed my channel knows that. So I wanted to have a separate spot where I can be a little more free to talk about like the draft in general and not mess up with the algorithms that I currently got. So I did a fix the franchise today with the New York Jets. I'm going to be doing every team. I'll probably do I guess I'll have to do the Raiders or something at some point, but so really looking forward to that, man. And obviously talking a lot of Broncos offseason stuff, just the wish list, talking about the free agents and the pending guys. I mean, as much as I hate when the season ends, the offseason is really one of my favorite parts, because that's when it becomes like fantasy football in real life. It's a lot of fun. So I'll be doing a lot of that. And yeah, man, Monday nights have been amazing because of y'all. I look forward to continuing these episodes, and everyone in the chat, even all the trolls. I always say you guys are the best part of it as well, man. I always have fun with it. So I appreciate you guys always tuning in.
Yes. Jeremy, what do you got?
No, I just right now, just look forward to this offseason, chopping it up with you guys, and yeah, we'll see what happens here. Might expand the channel a little bit.
Dude, interview Bo Nix.
There you go. I should reach out.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt. It'd be pretty cool. So
it would be cool.
Guys, go subscribe to all my friends. They help make Broncos Country the best YouTube space in all of NFL YouTube. No doubt about it. I guess we'll talk about schedule here for the off season later this week and kind of figure that out. But yeah, this ain't our last time together. You'll see us all throughout the off season. So want to let you guys know too, join the membership, DTB membership. It's $2 a month and you get access to the Discord to talk with us every day. So do that. But until next time, guys, we'll see ya. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.